Hey, what's up guys? This is Evil. Today I want to show you guys a build that I've seen a lot of speedruns done with. I've seen a lot of content creators, a lot of people who consistently do speedruns. They use this build so they're able to clear out mobs of enemies really quickly while going invisible, in and out of invisibility, while 1 to 2 hidden champions. I really didn't expect this build to be so strong or even be playing PvE on my hunter or even enjoying PvE on my hunter, but this build helps you do that. This build helps you farm content with ease. What I mean by that is you're able to consistently spam your melee ability and your dodge ability, and you're able to keep that uptick, so you're never not hitting enemies with your melee. Speedruns with a solo hunter has been on this build. A lot of people recommend this build if you're trying to do solo flawlesses because this build is just that strong. Let me give you guys a breakdown of the build and my slight changes to the build so we can make this build work for you. So let's jump straight into the build. To set this build up right, we're going to jump straight into the Arc 3.0 subclass. We have the same abilities. We're not really changing anything from last time. We have the pulse grenade. We're going to be using combination blow. That's the only difference instead of disorienting blow. For the aspects, we do want to use flow state. So anytime we defeat a jolted target, we're going to become amplified. And once you are amplified, this is how we're going to have unlimited dodge and unlimited melee, because once you are amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly and you are more resilient while dodging. We're going to be using lethal current. So after dodging, your next melee attack has increased launch range and jolts the target while creating a damaging aftershock. This is what you're seeing in the gameplay in the back footage. That's how you're seeing every time we do hit an enemy after we dodge, they're sort of just exploding and killing a lot of enemies right behind them. For the fragments, we do have spark of feedback. So anytime enemies do hit us, since we're going to be so close to enemies, anytime they melee us, that's going to increase our outgoing melee damage. And we get an extra 10 resistance, which we do like. We're going to be using spark of shock, so we're able to jolt targets with our pulse grenade, which is very nice because anytime we do defeat a jolted target, we are able to become amplified. We're going to be using spark of magnitude, so our pulse grenade lasts a little bit longer, so we're able to jolt more targets since they are going to be stepping into our pulse grenades. The next thing we do have is spark of resistance. So since we are going to be in the knee deep in ads at all times consistently, once we are surrounded by more ads, we're going to be more resistant to incoming damage. We like that because we are going to be going invisible, killing a lot of ads, diving in and out of trouble, and being surrounded is what this build is made to do. So since we're getting rewarded for that, why not pick up that perk? After that perk, the next thing on this build that you do need to make it work would be a 1-2 punch shotgun. So you're able to deal an increase of 350% damage with your melee grenade, and not your melee grenade, with your melee. And since that melee would then make that target explode, you're able to damage all the surrounding enemies with that 350% damage increase. After a 1-2 punch shotgun, the next important thing of this build would be Assassin's Cowl. So anytime we do defeat a target with our power in melee, we're going to be granted invisibility, and we're going to gain health and shields. Final blows finishers also grant us invisibility, but the main thing about this exotic that we want to keep in mind is that we are going to be granted invisibility anytime we get a melee kill. And that's how we set the build up right. After you set up your Arc 3.0 subclass, make sure you have Assassin's Cowl and make sure you have a 1-2 punch shotgun. Some of the fastest speedruns have been using 2 1-2 punch shotguns, so you're able to just hot swap both weapons, and you're able to consistently keep that 350% damage increase to your melee. And that's how a lot of content creators have done a solo grandmaster or a solo dungeon. After that, we're going to be using the elemental well mods, and a lot of you guys have been talking to me saying you don't have the mods, but now there's no excuses. There's no excuses because Bungie has unlocked every single elemental well mod. So all the elemental well mods I am going to show you, you should have. The only reason why you might not have them is because it's not the same energy type. So just make sure you change your energy type and you're able to unlock all the mods. For the first mod, we do have Well of Ions. Anytime we pick up an arc elemental well, it's going to cause our next melee to deal increased damage. And since we are going to be spawning elemental wells, we just want to deal even more damage with our melee if we're not using a 1-2 punch shotgun. Because we are going to be using a lot of charged power from melee, we want to use melee well maker. So anytime we do defeat a target with our melee, we're able to spawn an elemental well mod. Pick that up at Well of Ion, so your next charged melee attack will deal increased damage. The next thing we have is Bountiful Well. So instead of spawning 1 elemental well mod when you do kill an enemy with your melee, we're going to spawn 2 elemental well mods. Next thing after that, we do have a striking light. We're rocking striking light because we want to gain an increased damage resistance while sprinting. That's why we rock striking light. So we have even more damage resistance while sprinting, and we're combining that with spark of resistance. Since we're neck deep in trouble, we're always surrounded by enemies, so we're always sprinting, we're always on the move. With this build, you are highly mobile. You're able to just slay out and kill a lot of enemies very quickly. The last thing we do have is elemental charge, so we are becoming charged with light anytime we do pick up an elemental well mod, since we are spawning elemental well mods. Last mods we do have on our class item will be a low entropy superconductor, so we're able to stun unstoppable champions by using our powerful melee ability. And then we do have breach and clear, but that's it for the build, guys. Remember, you're going to be using assassin's cowl combined with a 1-2 punch shotgun, and then I showed you guys how to set your arc 3.0 subclass right, so you're able to consistently spam your melee ability back and forth with your dodge. And then just combine that with the elemental one mods, and now you have a speedrun build that you can use to solo nightfalls, solo dungeons, and just solo activities in general. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I do have a new Discord, so go check it out in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.